Pop and country is the pinnacle of like, if you, when I first started doing pop and country tours, it blew my mind that some of these musicians were as good as they were, because in metal you get when a lot of metal players come up, they're like garage players. They're self-taught, which is awesome. That's super cool. That's how I taught myself. But a lot of these metal players are phenomenal at playing fast and shredding, and they know what they're doing. They're good musicians. Let's not take that away. But a lot of these pop and country players, they studied theory. And
you can play anything.
And you have to when you're working for a country band. So what blew my mind whenever we did country tours was that first tour I ever did with Dustin. I was so shocked and blown away by how good his musicians were. And not only that, but their music theory that they had. Like a lot of these country shows, they have segments of their set where if it's like halfway through the set and they're trying to get the crowd fired up, they might cover some country classics, like, you know, Friends in Low Places, you know, John Deere Green, something like that. So you'll randomly get your artist on stage, get into the talkback microphone to talk to everybody in the in-ears and be like, hey, let's do Friends in Low Places. And then you'll see the band. It's kind of magical. You'll see the band all start looking at each other and they'll be like, what are we going to play? Like A minor? You good with A minor? Yeah, A minor. Yeah. And that's all they need to know. And that's all they need to know.
And it sounds amazing.
Yeah. They like songs that, perfect example. Luke Bryan's bass player, current bass player, is a friend of mine. And when they just did that Crash My Playa festival in Mexico, Lionel Richie came down because he does, was it American Idol, I think, with Luke Bryan. Lionel wanted to play a spur of the moment set. And Luke's like, well, you can use my band. So with like 5 hours notice, his band got together and they asked Lionel what he wanted to play. And all these guys needed to do is listen to all the songs once, know what key it was going to be in, and just crush it like they've been doing it for years. So that's the difference really with pop and country. Most of the pop and country players are schooled musicians who can play anything in the spur of the moment. They know their instruments, they know their scales, their notes, everything. You know, my wife and I were watching Lizzo's live concert that's streaming the other night. And her band is just like, I know metalheads look at pop bands and they're like, it's pop. But like those players in those bands are some of the most skilled musicians in the world.
On the planet, because she is a giant global star. And she wants only the absolute best. And anybody on earth, you know, that's like a session musician, you know, would drop whatever they're doing to play with her. So she is recruiting. She's like the NFL. She's recruiting from the best of the best of the best. Like, I don't know who plays bass for Lizzo, but I guarantee it's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah. And her band is all female too. So, and that is one thing in the music industry that I'm sure you're aware of, that like, you don't see that much. Like even when I have toured, like as a roadie, it is not often that you get women on tour because there is that sense of old school men work harder, you know, and I'll tell you right now,
fit in. And
I'll tell you right now, every woman I've worked with has like outworked every dude in their position on tour. And
well, they have to, unfortunately.
I was just going to say, I have had some of my women friends that I've toured with tell me like, we kind of have to compensate because people don't take us seriously on tour. So Lizzo having an all female band, that pool of musicians that she's looking at is even smaller. So, you know, those women are probably the best of the best in the industry at their respective